hand if you would feel stressed if you walked outside on campus and this was staring at you in the face. I love how many of you were like, whatever, it's like, it's cool. Like, I see that all the time, like on a Friday or Saturday. I don't get stressed about that. All right. The reason I have this picture up here is because you have a physiological response to stress. And what we often forget is that you were designed to have a fight or flight moment when you see this. Your body doesn't know the difference between this lion looking at you in the face and about to eat you, and the thought that you get that runs through your head that stresses you out. I'm going to flunk out of school. I'm not going to get a job. I'm not handsome and attractive enough. I made a fool of myself last night at that party. The thought that stresses you out gives your body a fight or flight reaction in the same way that this lion does when you're staring at it in the face. So what happens to you is you actually start to get, your blood pressure goes up, your heart rate increases, your organs stop functioning as quickly because they're trying to conserve energy. And this is why people talk so much about why stress is dangerous. And people say chronic stress that you experience day in and day out literally has a physical response in your body. That what's normal are sort of sprint stresses. So we get a little bit stressed and then we come down from it and we recuperate, and then we get a little bit stressed again, and then we come down from it and we recuperate. But what becomes problematic is that a lot of times we don't understand the difference and we don't understand how to bring us down from chronic stress. So I'm going to kind of talk to you about de-stressing your life. So stress for you, since most of you are not going to walk out on this campus and have a lion staring at you in your face about to eat your face off, most of you are going to experience stress that is thought-based, meaning it is thoughts that are going through your head that is stressing you out. First thing that's most important for you to do is to recognize the thought that's stressing you out. And the thing is, you guys are like running in 100 different directions. And you're like, I've got a Greek meeting, and I've got an exam to do, and I need to go out tomorrow night. And you feel stressed, and a lot of times you're like, I'm so stressed, I don't even know why I'm stressed. And you need to stop and ask yourself the question, what is the actual thought that is stressing me out? Is it that I'm going to flunk out of school? Is it that I'm going to have a nervous breakdown? Is it that nobody's ever going to love me and I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life? Whatever the thought is, find the thought and pull it out of your brain and set it in front of you for just at least a moment. And this practice gets faster the more you do it. Go ahead. So I'm going to tell you, find the thought, don't ignore it, don't obsess about it, and don't repress it. What we tend to do is push it down. I think about it like a beach ball. And if you're sitting there in an ocean holding down the beach ball and it wants to come up, you're going to get tired of holding it down. It's exhausting. So you have those little thoughts that you put in your head, and you just do this every time you push them down, you try to ignore them, you try to forget about it, and you get so damn tired of holding it that eventually it's going to pop back up. So the best thing you can do when you're feeling stressed, it's the same thing that works for when you're feeling stressed, when you're feeling sad, when someone just broke up with you and you're like losing your mind, to stop and literally find the thought and let it come up. What is the thought that is making me anxious? What is the thought that is stressing me out? I need 2 volunteers to come up here. It's going to be easy. 1, come on up. I need 1 more. All the way in the back. Oh, she's getting a round of applause. People are excited. Okay.
Are we going to mud wrestle?
No. I want you to walk across the stage like you're not very confident.
Okay.
And I want you to walk across the stage like you're completely confident and you own it.
Cool.
What's your name?
Rihanna.
Rihanna?
Mariana.
Mariana?
Yeah.
Okay. Rihanna's going to walk across the stage first. Pay attention to her. Walk across the stage. Nicely done. Well played. Okay, Mariana. Mariana's going to walk across the stage now. Pay attention to her. Good job. Round of applause for my models, please. Yeah. Which one was more confident? 1 or 2? How could you tell that she was more confident? How? Her head was up. What else? Her posture was up. How could you tell that Rihanna was not confident? She was slouched. Okay, listen, this is not rocket science, but we forget the importance of this connection. If someone is confident, they own their space, right? So Tony Robbins talks about this all the time. He's a huge motivational speaker. He tells people who aren't confident, who are feeling miserable about a situation, that the first thing you can do is change your body. Because we know that when your mind feels a certain way, your body responds. So if I feel confident and I own this space, like I'm going to walk in confident. I'm going to own this space like, what's up? Thanks for coming to my class. This is my space. Okay? I'm going to do that when my mind tells me that that's what's going on. But what we forget is that when your mind is telling you something else and you shift your body, your mind also follows. So when you're not confident and you're feeling like, crap, I can't handle this, and you stand up straight and you put your head up straight and you start to behave confidently, your mind gets the signal and it starts actually believing that you're confident. Your mind's like, oh, all right, physiologically, apparently we're confident. The same thing works for stress. You pull this thought out that normally stresses you out. I'm crazy. I'm not good enough. I'm not going to be able to get a job when I graduate. You pull the thought out, and your natural instinct, because this is a neural path that you've created that stresses you out, is to get stressed. So your body starts to behave like it's stressed. If you stop and you start to do a breathing exercise, I'm going to teach you one, what you're doing is you're changing your physiological body, and your mind starts to follow suit. It thinks, oh, so we're calm. And what you're doing is retraining your mind. So it's like exposure therapy. This thought, now if I keep doing this when this thought comes up, my body stops responding in a stressful manner and you stop feeling so stressed about this thought. And then you're going to rewrite the thought. You're going to rewrite it. Go ahead. What's happened, and all of us have it. All of us have our lizard. And we have our lizard that creates these common neuropaths in our brain of things that stress us out, right? You can probably identify what yours is right now. I'm not good enough because. I'm stressed because. I'm not going to get a job because. And it's become literally a neuropath in your brain. It's like if you walk the same path on the grass over and over again, you just clear the path out. All of the grass dies, and there's the path that you've laid. You've created a neuropath for yourself that becomes habitual for you. It's a habit, and you need to break the habit. And the way you break the habit is to rewrite it. If you've taken a psychology class, if you have studied self-fulfilling prophecy, you can take two groups of kids, same circumstances, and you can ask them what their chances are of going to college. You can take a group of kids whose chances of going to college are not very high. I ask all of these children what their chances are. These kids say, I have a good chance, I'm going to do it. And these kids say, I don't have a very good chance. Guess who is more likely to go to college? These kids. Their circumstances aren't different. Their support system isn't different. They simply believe that they have a higher chance of going to college. That is self-fulfilling prophecy. The reason why you want to rewrite the thought is A, so it doesn't stress you out, and B, because it's actually more likely to happen. What can I do to relieve or take control of this stressful thought? All the time, I hear students in my office freaking out about school, freaking out about their life, freaking out about their roommate, and the last thing that they're doing is the action that it takes to relieve themselves of the stress. Try to identify 3 things you can do to take control, if you can. Stress is often lack of action. The first time I heard this, I was stressing out about a presentation I had to give, and I was sitting there stressing out about it. I was like, whatever, you don't understand my stress book. This is crazy. I am stressed. Like, this is legit stress. And I'm reading a stress book, and I'm stressing about a presentation that I need to give. And they were like, a lot of times when you're stressed, it's because you're lacking action. I'm like, psh. And then I'm thinking, I'm not working on the presentation. I'm reading a book about stress. What happens when I get off my ass and I start working on the presentation? I'm not actually stressed about the presentation when I'm working on it. I'm stressed about it the 19 days that I think about it day in and day out, and I'm not doing it. We've all experienced it. You sit down to do it, and you're like, oh my God, that wasn't even hard. I feel so much better now. Ask yourself that question when you feel yourself stressed and you identify the thought, is there an action I can take? Is there something I can do that's going to help alleviate this? Am I just stuck in this thought pattern? You need to move towards your strengths and away from your weaknesses. Take the classes that invigorate you. Do the activity that fills you up every single day. Get rid of the people or relationships in your life that stress you out. Bring things into your life that strengthen you. That's how you decrease your stress. That's how you find your career path. And that's how you give yourself a fulfilled life. So, remind me one last time. What are our 3 steps? 1, 2, 3. Thank you all so much. You were wonderful. Go Greeks.